Alright, let's do another episode. This is a series where people are sending me their footage, and I'm just providing some commentary, what I think, maybe some advice. I'm not the best player in the world, but you might learn a thing or two. This stuff is sent today from a Spud, who says they've only played about 30 ranked queues ever, I think, and they just appreciate any tips. They say that their build is ripped straight from Meta Battle, and, well, we'll see what we've got. So, they're playing a Blood Scourge, which I actually think is an extremely, extremely strong build. I think it can go pretty far in the high end if you are very, very careful about your positioning and you are hyper understanding of where players are and you count respawns and stuff. But I also think it's really good all the way through silver, gold, even low plat. I think it's got massive amounts of playmaking potential. I think it's got really solid 1v1 potential. I think it scales well in team fights. I love this build. I think it's very, very good. I play a lot of it myself. And ripping directly off of Meta Battle, I think that's a good idea. So yeah, we can see he's on Scepter Torch. He's got a staff. His sigils seem pretty good. You know, he's got agility here so that he can quick cast the Torch 5s and whatnot. We can see here on his runes that he's picked up a Sage Amulet. Actually, not sure what rune this is. I like Balthazar runes. I'm not sure what Meta Battle is offering. But, like, Revocation here is good. Lots of Life Force. Annulment here is good. I guess he's going to mouse over all this stuff. So, build-wise, so far, I'm very happy. All right, Traveler. This is good as well. Traveler's nice for ranked queues, because that extra 25% move speed allows you to peel out and allows you to be in the right position more often than the time. Traveler's pretty good, honestly. I won't sniff at Traveler. I do prefer Balthazar a little bit myself. Balthazar gives you extra health, right? And extra life force pool and stuff, so, you know, it also has quality of life in some way. So anyway, it's a Sage Amulet, and this is a Blood Scourge, so anybody who doesn't know this build, it supports through applying tons of barrier. It re-sustains people with reasonable flat heals as well. It resurrects incredibly, and it does good damage too. It's like a very, very good all-rounder. So yeah, Blood, I think all your traits are okay. This trait, you should probably take the bottom trait here. This procs a Signet that gives you an epic heal every, like, however low the interval is, maybe every 20 seconds or so. This is incredible. I think it's because it's bugged at the moment, but I run this, and really this enables a huge amount of the build. My main recommendation, swap to this bottom trait. Honestly, you'll feel it. It's really strong. The tooltip doesn't suggest it, but it gives you a massive self-heal. It's like adding another heal skill to the build. You've got Doomfire, you've got Soul Marks, you've got extra income. Wait. This middle trait, isn't this extra health and resustain? I quite like that. Here for your Scourge stuff, I think you're looking pretty much okay. Hold on, shouldn't you be in the bottom down here? For nourishing Rot, so you get extra life force? I don't know, I can't remember exactly. But that should be fine. Your utility skills look very good. The heal is amazing for casting on people. You give them massive barrier. Corrupt Boon helps you against almost every matchup in the game. The stability is very, very strong. Lots of kite potential here. Sunbreak obviously is amazing. Corrupt, extra burns. This is amazing for juking people. This is amazing for just free winning fights and downstate scenarios. Your build is fine. You also, here you're on Colosseum. I don't know whether you voted for this, but Colosseum's a good map for this build, because you can kite around a lot and you can keep yourself safe while people aggress you, and we'll see how we go. So you've got a Core Ranger picking up close. Core Ranger can 1v1 very well, so you're good with that. Really, you want your Scrapper to support you in mid here. You don't want to see your Scrapper push far. They don't. Good. This is an excellent team fight. You should be okay. What I would do here is I would linger back. I think you're holding W a little bit much. Also, the Trail of Sand, I wouldn't have used this. I know how tempting it is to use Swiftness. If you're going to do this, do it right at the gate early and, like, use lots of strafing left and right so that you splash the Swiftness on your team, and that's it. But realistically, your Scrapper could have blasted Swiftness on you, and if nobody does any, just don't take it. You don't want to be the first in there anyway. You want them to. So this gives you no value, right? And now you're one stun break down, and your Corrupt's down, and you've got less stability. It's not very good. So that's a big mistake. Try to not use that. And by the way, I do that as well quite often myself. I brain dead do it. The worst thing in the world is to use this one, because then you lose a ton of cleanse, ton of life force, reposition, opportunity. So it's not the worst, but it's not too good. So yeah, here you're shading instantly. I think that's a bad move. There's no need to have a shade when you have no life force. I would start on Staff. You have higher range on Staff, so you can be cleaving from further away quicker. And I would be trying... There's a difference. Here, this is your 600 range, right? And your 1200 range is here. You want to play so that you're doing all your staff marks in this window and you are the maximum range away. You're like just landing staff marks as far away as possible and abusing this extra space here. And what you would be wanting to do right now is get your life force open with staff and have as much staff pressure as possible here. You can also drop like a Mark 4 on yourself, so if like a rev ports on... Well, actually, this was pre-patch. Doesn't matter so much post-patch, I guess. But like if a thief steals onto you, a lot of thieves will open with steel, especially in steel. If you have a Mark 4 on yourself, he'll poison weaken you, and then you poison weaken him instantly. And now he doesn't do much damage. And so that's a very strong, and you know, you can put a fear mark on yourself. But I'd be getting as much staff value as possible right now. Also, you're not really standing in a great place. I would climb on this here, or I would climb to this here, or I would move with my team around this ledge and then try and climb onto this. I would try and be on terrain as much as possible. Here, it looks like you're running straight towards the node. This is super deadly. This will get you killed lots of games. You don't need to be here. You could be on staff right now, and I would be standing on this right now. This shade was a complete waste of time. Getting feared there isn't really a big deal. You don't have to worry about that. That's not really a problem. Using this, you use this to stun break, but that was not a good play. You've now wasted your two biggest defensives, and you'll mincemeat. Anyone can kill you instantly now, pretty much, because you've used these. This is really terrible. You've even pressed this button so late that you never ate the fear, thus you still have 0 life force. If you're on staff right now, you could have lots of life force already. So far, there's a lot of little things you can improve. Here, you've dodge rolled nothing for no reason. Also, you've weapon swapped... Wait, what's happened? Yeah, there you go. Oh, that was weird. I paused it at a time that you weapon swapped, but you didn't have a thing. So now you're on staff. What I would have done is, if I was there, I would have used the hard CC, the Torch 5. Don't forget, Torch 5 can go up and down. It's like got this crazy quality of life on it. So you could have used that somewhere. Here, so let's see. What are you doing with your target? You're trying to, like, help this guy. The video file is very low quality, so I can't actually see. I think this is your ranger. But your ranger probably doesn't need much help right now. I would look at this fight here with the 2 enemy Scourges. So there you've randomly pressed Corrupt Boon, and he hasn't really had any boons to Corrupt, as far as I can tell. Maybe I missed that, actually. Here you saw that... Oh, this is your scrapper, never mind. Okay, so this guy's gone down. If you had used a lot more staff, you'd have life force right now, and you could use a garish pillar, and you could teleport this body to you, and you could res him. Since you don't have that, what I would try and do is run, and I would use my elite skill over that body. And using Scepter 2 was good there. The random dodge roll back wasn't good. You want to charge onto this. What you wanted to do was use Scepter 2, maybe this, but you want to use the Torch 5 to interrupt this stump here. That would have been really nice. Your Torch 4 was good there. It cleaved multiple people and gave you some life force. I would probably climb on this. Everything you're doing right now, you could do from the safety of up there. The Scourge has started to attack you, so I would probably start running away. If I was on that platform, I wouldn't have taken too much damage right now. I would use F3, and you've got it bound to E here, to give myself lots of barrier during the cast of the hill. That way I wouldn't die. I think you're going to die in the middle of the hill. Yeah, you are. But you could have used those other shade abilities, and you wouldn't be dead yet. Also, you stepped slightly off the node, so they could bleed you here, which isn't very good. This guy's down. The fear was pretty good. I would use bandage right now as well. You're getting cleaved anyway by the other guy in downstate, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now that you're dead, I would be looking at the minimap to see exactly what's going on. First of all, yeah, you got unloaded on by a pistol. It was very good that you looked at the death log there, because you can see who hit you. Now that I know that there's a PP thief on the enemy team, I would just be hounding him constantly. I'd be dropping Mark 5s on him. I'd be dropping Torch. Once again, you made that same mistake with the Trail of Anguish. I won't mention it every time. Also, probably a good idea to zoom your minimap out a little bit so that you can get a bit of a better sense on where all your teammates and stuff are right now. You made a good decision to come to mid here, because there was no reason to go to close. You've correctly seen that. That's good. There's no need to be here, though. That guy you can just leave. You're 3v0 right now, if you think about it, right? Because you've just walked in with 2 allies, and there's literally nothing to do. At least you're capping the node. Your allies are wasting time. You don't need to pressure that. If anything, you could staff auto-attack to gain life force, which is exactly what you're doing, which is very good. You're also using marks. Now, marks can't hurt downstate bodies. They do nothing. You could drop like a single mark. A Mark 3 is a good thing to place, and it looks like you've done that because that puts poison. So when someone walks over to try and res, the poison slows down their res potential, and you can do other things. But I'd only ever drop like 1 mark, maybe 2. There's no reason to spam any further than that. So I liked that you took an auto attack or 2. You gained yourself lots of shroud. Capping this was smart. You didn't need to do that. You know, you saw the cross as well. Your camera was good there. You were watching for that. So if I was you right now, I would be in a tough position, to be honest. I don't know what I would want to do. I would probably... I don't know. I would go either way. Maybe I'd come and plus this. I did say on a previous coach episode that if there's ever a moment where there's a coin toss, don't take the coin toss, okay? So if you push far right now, you go over here, you're tossing a coin 50-50. Does your ally win this 1v1 or does the enemy win with the 1v1? There's two outcomes, heads or tails. It's RNG. You don't know the skill of your ally. You don't know the skill of your enemy. You don't even know what the matchup here is, as far as I know right now. Maybe you could have if you're looking aggressively. So, based on what I said before, maybe we go close and we ensure we win this. There's respawns, so the idea would be to go close, try and win that fight really quickly, and then get back here before mid is neutralized. So let's see what you choose to do. You go to Far. Now, Far is a good play as well, and you've gone via this route, which is really nice, because this lets you see the enemies coming and where they're respawning. Unfortunately, you haven't moved your camera to look over there, but that was a really good opportunity you could have taken. So this guy's kiting out. I would be hitting him with staff marks already. I'd be very aggressively on it. You did eventually decide. Here you're walking to the node for no reason. You're walking to the node because you're thinking, oh, it's conquest. I've got to cap points. But all you're doing here is wasting time. This guy can cap it or this guy can cap it. What you're doing is walking into potential AoE. In other games, this will get you killed. There's no reason to stand here. You could have followed this bad guy and you could have killed him. You see how he's low? He's getting away here. He could be much lower. You could have followed him up. He could have all this condition damage on him. There, when he stealthed, I would have dropped the Torch 4 to just splash some extra burning on him. Here, this F5 was worth nothing. Here, you're casting on the node because you're thinking about the node more than players. You could have cast on the player there. There, you chanced to start Torch 5. It missed because the guy wasn't in combat, basically. You could put him in combat early, but it's not too bad. Now you can stand on the node because, you know, you don't want the decap. So now your positioning is good. I would have taken a Scepter 3 and swapped already to Staff. I would be hitting him with Staff already right now. He moves back in. Your Staff mechanics are good here. You've random double dodged. There's 0 damage coming towards you. And you've double dodged, so now you have no way of saving yourself. So now you're standing in as Elite, and you got a really nice Fear, right? The Fear was actually pretty good. It's going to last a while. It moves him off the node, which allows you to also move off of the node. Thus, you don't have to tank the Ghastly Breach. What I would do, since you landed that, is I'd step off for 2 ticks. I'd let him come on and gain, like, a couple of slices of the piece of wedge. And then I'd step on for the last bit of the Ghastly Breach, and I'd channel my Spectral Walk, which means I consume any extra conditions. Absolutely, I would not use this. This gives you stability, and the Elite would corrupt it. Turns out you walk back into it and you give yourself stability. So you're going to get feared and Condi bombed here. Wait, hold on. It just removed the stab. Does this remove or corrupt? I thought it was corrupt. Anyway, you've taken a ton of damage. You need to press F2 to cleanse this 7 Torment. Turning around and using the Scepter 2 and the Torch 4 is very good. I'd aim for the Torch 4 first. It's more pressure. There's less of a delay. Also, when you weapon swap, you can give yourself quickness, and you can cast that really fast. You can also cast the 5, but it wasn't off cooldown. Here, I'd cast the 5 to interrupt him. The guy died because you've got a ranger that's shooting him at the same time, so that's very good. It looks like he died on the node, so yes, I would cleave this just as you are. You have no way of stomping it, so I would do damage, which is exactly what you're doing. He's using his downstate fear, so I would actually dodge roll right now, so I don't get feared. You did get feared. And now I'd move back on the node so that... he doesn't get to decap it. I wouldn't cast any staff marks. If I was going to swap to staff, I'd auto-attack for more life force. Because, again, you're doing nothing here, right? Your plan is to kill this anyway, so these marks do nothing. Because there's no, like, potential of a player coming over, right? So you've just spammed lots of cooldowns that you didn't need to. Those marks could be hitting that guy, who I'd also be very aggressively hitting right now. I'd be hitting marks on him to put weakness. I'd be casting my heal skill, and I'd be line of sight, and I would get off of this node now because the guy's going to kill you otherwise. You actually got combat reset because you were less aggressively minded than me, in which case I would have tried to go behind those bushes and hold the combat reset. This is the pistol thief. I would have pressed Garish Pillar there to interrupt him in the middle of the unload, and then I would have followed it up with a Mark 5 to keep him CC'd. That also would have given you lots of life force. Now I would be using my shade. I'd put a shade on him, and I'd make sure that I go into Desert Shroud. And I'd walk into him. He's going to walk out of your shade, so you'd be walking into him. And you try and fear, and you just stay on top of him. Going at range like this allows him to kill you because he can free cast damage on you. You could have traded damage with him and killed him. He's very, very, very squishy. You're running away. I like that you're happy to give up the node. When you're a little bit better, you'll realize, you know, you could kill a PP thief in a scenario like that. But you could have won that. That's okay, though. You disengaged, and the thief didn't even follow you. That was his misplay, too. Your team's given you sword and shield, so you can win pretty much any fight you want right now. Again, I'd be using staff marks very aggressively. You're not. You're favoring the shade. Try to use the shade, like, once a fight has already started, yeah? Like, cast it on someone after you've exhausted your weapon skill stuff in general and utilize the range. The shades are, like, once the fire's cooking, you know? You got some good damage there. I would swap to Torch again, and I would Torch for this for Life Force. Here I would use Mark 4 to get rid of my Condi and cleave the body. That's exactly what you do. That's very good. Here I would target him to make sure he doesn't have stab. He doesn't, or I would look for a Trail of Anguish. And since that he doesn't, I would use the Mark 5 to interrupt him. He dodged there as well. To be honest, waiting for a dodge is better. But at Silver Tier Q, you don't really have to worry too much. Here you're being very, very, very low damage. Here you could swap again and Torch 4 through the wall. Here you can support this. This guy's low, so I would actually shade over this, and I would use F3 and F2. There was a blood res here. The PP Thief's on you, so I'd move around here. Especially with the Dagger Storm, I'd precast a heal, and I'd channel Spectral Walk so that I consume the cripple, and I can keep moving. I would get, now that you've chosen to stay here, I would stun break, use my elite, and I would die on the node. I'd also press F4 here so that I'm healing a little bit. You went for the stun break heal. You got it, which is nice. They actually had lower pressure than I was anticipating. Here I would F3 and F2 for more barrier. Here I would not have double tapped. Here you ported back. I wouldn't have done that. I would have kept fleeing. I would have come over here and hidden over here or something. You died on the node into the PP Thief. I would fear this instantly so that my ally can help kill him. You get the rally. Again, I would stand immediately on this guy. I would Desert Shroud and I would be on him. I'd also throw a random Corrupt Boon out. Not gonna lie, I would just throw that out instantly since you've got the 2 charges. And because I'd be panicking at this point. So yeah, you get that kill. Again, there's no need to mark. Your allies have got this. I'd be immediately on this guy over here. And I would pressure that as much as possible. I wouldn't have random Corrupt Booned the body. Again, I'd take Staff Autos if I was still lingering, but I would have been hitting this Reaper already. So this Reaper, when he goes Shroud, he's 99.99999% odds gonna stability himself. So I would wait until I see Shroud, and then I would Corrupt Boon. Until then, I would just unload auto attacks. I'd exhaust these Scepter cooldowns. I'd be careful because he does have Plague Signet. He's a Reaper with Plague Signet, which is kind of strange. Not actually sure what killed you there. I can't really see the video quality. Makes it a little bit difficult to see sometimes. But anyway, you get the rally. Again, as soon as I stand up, I would spend a couple of shade things to put a bit of barrier just in case someone else is around. I don't feel too aware of my surroundings right now. I'd swap to staff and start dropping marks where this guy's walking to. Your camera was very good. You saw where the guy was moving and you got ready for it. You're being a bit too slow here. In fact, this is a +2 right now. So, to be honest, going far, I could see you hesitate and think about far for a second. I would do that. Yeah, good Torch 5 there. Very, very good. Straight into the Torch 4. Perfect. Very good gameplay there. I mean, it was a +2, so it didn't really matter. This was a waste, though. There was no need to shade. As soon as he's down... sorry, there's no need to Desert Shroud. So this guy's coming in. Now I would shade over it, and now I would want the Desert Shroud. Since you don't have it, I'd swap to Staff and make sure I get a CC over it. That's exactly what you did. Or almost. You did bleeds. I would look to far again. Your team has won it, though. Your team's doing very well, so this is kind of an easy game. Here, I would shade on your ally, and I would give him a little bit of barrier. I'd also be ready with a Garish Pillar. I'd probably stand behind this so that when he dies, I can teleport it behind there. And, so watch your allies dying, if he dies. Also, yeah, just moving in, I would throw a Corrupt Boon on this to try and get weakness on him. You did the same play. I think you did it into a dodge roll. I might have made that same mistake. I never know. On editing, I can actually quite clearly see the Ranger had used his Elite Rampages 1. I saw that visually by looking at him. I know 100% he has stability on him, so I would have Corrupt Booned pretty much instantly. I wouldn't even done the Shade play. And watching and editing, that's actually what you did. I don't know if that was in response to the fact you saw his Elite, but yeah, that's a very good Corrupt Boon. He didn't get much damage with Worldly Impact. Here, when you stun broke, I would have like WAS Indeed instantly onto him to get burning and stuff on him. Here I would F1 on this and immediately F4 so that you can get some interrupts and some pressure over that. And then I would charge onto it in Ghastly Breach. Actually, I wouldn't because there's 2 bodies and they've already died. Everyone's dying very quickly in this game. This is good positioning though. They're basically just walking into you and your team. There, you gave some good barrier out, so well done on that. Again, I would shade an F2 for Corrupt. Looks like they're dead. I would turn around now. That's exactly what you're doing. Well done. Because your Mesmer over here needs a little bit of help. And I would, like, cut back through, looking to go to far, but I wouldn't go with my whole team here. I'd go through mid. It looks like that's what you're doing. Maybe climb up the ramp and go on the right. That's good. I would probably Trail of Anguish. Actually, you've already got a lot of swiftness. I was going to say, if the swiftness was about to run out, I probably would out of combat Trail of Anguish to get there as soon as possible. You're playing very slow, and you could have been at mid. You could have been at far ages ago, right? Like, think about my commentary here, how long I've been saying you could have been at far. Now, if you look, this guy's down. You could have been there at any point for a long time, and you could have pressed Garish Pillar, and you could have teleported the body to yourself and rezzed it instantly. You could have covered it up with a Ghastly Breach or something. Your decision to stay here and be very conservative is also respectable since you win the game anyway. You know, maybe you blame your Mesmer and say, well, the Mesmer should have disengaged. You're going a bit too hard on this. You only need one shade. You've exhausted all your shades here. I would be on Staff right now. I wouldn't elite this when it was on 1% health. That's like a big waste of an elite, right? Like, you don't need to use an elite skill to do 1% damage to an already dead guy that's not being rezzed. I would turn around and I would help my friend. I would drop marks on this over here. I wouldn't have randomly dodged no enemies there. So here, after his withdraw, I would land the Mark 5, weapon swap, and agility knockdown on the Torch 5. So that he's CC chained. And then I would walk on and I would use the Garish Pillar to interrupt him again. And that's probably overkill, what I just described there. Like, more than overkill. If your decision was to come here, I would have gone through here just to hit the respawn a little bit earlier. Your team has won this. The enemy team has sword, so you kind of want to be cautious of that respawn. No, you don't even have to be cautious of the respawn in PP Thief because he was dead, so he missed sword. You can come help this guy. This is really nice. Again, I'd start on Staff because I could already be hitting him. But when I get a little bit in range, I'd immediately shade F2, F3 to help my friend. Then as I got closer, I'd probably Staff 4. And I'd probably start loading CCs. Here I would corrupt Boon because he has stability once you've taken the target. Oh, did you try that? No. I think you CC'd via another method, so he lost his stab. I saw an immune came up. I'm not sure what it was you did there. I don't think I quite saw. I would stay for this fight now, probably, and just win the game with that node, since this is where I am. All that matters is just winning one fight. So I would just force this kill, and I would AFK over the node, and I would win the game. So, yeah, that's what I think. My main advice, and obviously you're about to win. My main advice to you would be right now you're probably thinking a lot about your skills. I think you prioritize your shade placement a little bit too much. I think you don't value Staff enough, and I think you don't position and abuse your range enough. Once you get a little bit more used to all your own skills and what they do, and you never have to look at your skill bar, your dodges will start to improve because you'll stop randomly dodging odd things. Also, my other big advice to you is don't be scared to go toe-to-toe and trade damage with someone. Get in someone's face and, you know, like with that PP fight you had earlier against that thief, he was an easy kill. You just had to be really aggressive and trust that you'd kill him before he kills you. So yeah, that's my main advice to you. I think it's okay. I think you'll be in gold very soon. And, you know, you can keep climbing. That game wasn't won because of you, let me just say. That game was won because of your allies, realistically. But hang in there, and I think this build can do very well. And you did a good job on picking the build as well. I think it will carry you right the way through gold. So good luck. And anyone else has any footage they want to send, please let me know. If people don't send it, we can't keep doing videos. So, yeah, if you want to send it, guys, send it either on Google Drive. That's the best way for me. If you have a Google account, you have a free Google Drive, you can just upload it on there and I'll grab it off of there. Or do it as like a YouTube video and I'll download it off of YouTube, which is what I did here. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.